Let the camera focus, don't move.
Don't move. I moved. Moved again.
I'm gonna tilt it up a bit.
Why? Don't tilt it up again.
Just because if you raise your arms,
Yeah,
Oh.
it's my arms, it's fine.
okay. Well, it's time, let's go.
It's Sunday, it's fun day, it's Sunday fun day, we're gonna get started. Everyone is here right now.
I'm the most important one.
Yes, the most important one is right there. Or, oh, Lily, oh, anyways, there's Anne joining. Good morning, Anne. You,
Morning. Good morning.
hey, good morning. All right,
You ready? Let's go.
okay, you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. To get started today, we're gonna come to the middle parts of the mat, and we're gonna step our feet out with the heels going to the edges of our mat and the toes aiming in towards the center line. We're gonna kind of bring the knees to a nice elongated state, basically no bend in them. And then we hold in this spot, I'd like you to begin to pull in your belly and start the process of imagining a string from the base of the spine, pulling it out through the top of the head. So that process is the elongation of the spine. We're gonna take our palms, aim them backwards with our fingers spread nice and widely. I'm gonna draw the shoulders up to the ears. And while we work to straighten out through the elbows, I want you to kind of snap them out a little bit. And notice what happens with your shoulders. Now, if they inwardly rotated, I'd like you to kind of bring them back to neutral. And now we're gonna work an exercise, which is a warming exercise of practicing external rotation. So we're gonna basically rotate the palms all the way around as far as they go, and I'm gonna rotate them back in. So basically, we're starting to warm up that shoulder capsule with the muscles that interact with that capsule for internal and external rotation. How's that for a lot of wordiness?
Yes, it is.
Very wordy, yes. All right, so we're gonna continue to articulate in and out. I often call this cork screwing. And we'll just continue to imagine we're drinking lots of bottles of wine. How's that for fun? Yeah. So we're gonna keep on this for a couple more repetitions. And then we're gonna hold it open and then draw back the arms to feel a nice awakening and opening through the chest. As you inhale, salute the sun. Bring those hands all the way skyward. Keep them separated about shoulder width apart. Now rotate the palms so they face backwards. Keep those fingers nice and widely separated, and then use them to pull everything to the sky. And while you do that now, I'd like you to take your legs, snap the knees backwards. So we have a nice straight leg. And then I'd like you to try to pull both legs towards the center line as you reach high to the sky with those fingers. As you fill the lungs, enjoy the length. And as you exhale, relax the body, fold it down, all the way down. Let the spine flex, hang out a couple breaths. Remember, we're in the process of warming up, finding what's acceptable for work for our body today. As you now inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, keep the back in extension, but draw the hips back to give me a pronounced weighting to the you-know-what. Rhymes with eels. Now, as you exhale, let the spine flex. As you inhale, extend. And continue on this pattern for a few breaths. And as we inhale and extend, I'd like you to hold on that. And then once again, re-investigate what it feels like to pull those hips back and give me weight to the heels. As we hold on that, I'd like you to walk your fingers forward. On your next breath, let the spine flex and just hang out for a couple breaths. As you inhale, extend the spine, step your hands onto your shins,
We still have an orientation of toes aiming to the midline of the body. I'm going to ask you now to push to the shins and extend to the spine and see what happened with that body. Did you drift forward? You would know because the weight in the front part of the foot is heavier than the back part of the foot. I'd like you to kind of balance out the weight between both. When you have weight balance, I'd like you to push the ball of each big toe into the mat and try to bring a little more straightness to the knee. And keep those legs straight as you palms push the shin, extend the back. We find a tabletop type of position where the back is running basically parallel to the earth. While we hold in this, now I'd like you to give me some proud chest. And if you felt that upper back muscle or a series of muscles start to really activate, that's great. We're going to target that set of muscles right now. And as you release your next breath, let the upper body pull down and let the spine flex. As you inhale, extend to a flat back and re-engage. Palms push the shin, chest prouds out, and pull that spine nice and long. Drift the weight back to the heels. Hold the weight in the heels as you let the arms sweep forward with the palms rotating to face. As you inhale, stand tall. Salute the sun. Big breath in. Powerful exhale. Relax the arms. Let the palms rotate backwards as your fingers spread widely. Bring the thumbs in to touch thighs. Let's draw the shoulders backwards. Big inhale. On the exhale, pull down with the fingers and sweep the palms backwards. As you inhale, sweep forward, open the palms to face the sky, and bring it all the way up. And slowly rotate the hands inwardly as you sweep all the way back. Now, as we make this motion, I want you to be mindful of what's happening with your shoulders. If they're rotating internally, I want you to try to avoid that through the whole range of motion of your arms. Let's do a couple more repetitions. As you reach for the sky, palms face forward. Let's now take the toes of our feet and step them straight forward. Holding the arms nice and tall, I'd like you to bend through the knees and begin to squat down. Now, you'll notice I want you to limit the range of motion here. And you're going to start to feel some of the movement through the legs, but also in the upper back. Try to avoid dropping the arms. Try to hold tall, but try to make the movement possible where the arms aren't shifting up or down, just the legs. Now, as you stand tall, bring hands over heart, fold halfway forward, spine long, tabletopping the back. Hips draw backwards, fingertips hit that earth of yours, walk them forward as you draw the hips backwards. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. As you extend and hold, walk the fingers forward just a touch more as you draw back more to the heels. And let's bring a little more straightness to the legs if we can. Now, as you release your next breath, let both knees bend and walk your hands back in towards where your feet are. We have a nice low position. We're going to turn the fingers around backwards. I'm going to walk them backwards as we begin to descend with our butt towards the earth. I'd like you to make a nice long spine as you inhale. And as you exhale, let's push that booty back to the sky and keep the hands in place. Walk the hands backwards. Try to get a little more flexion through the spine. On the next breath, as you release it, I'd like you to squeeze your legs into your arms. Take the ball of each big toe, push it to the mat. Keep all of that connectivity as you once again bend through the knees. So your legs continue to squeeze those arms of yours as we push the hips back to the sky. Keep that internal push of the legs on the arms and raise and lower your butt. Try not to roll out to the out edges of the feet. Try to keep the ball of each big toe prominently pushing to the mats. lowering back down, raising back up, and walking those hands back forward again. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold, Pilates style. Bring it back up. Sweep to the sky. Inhale, extend, pull skyward. Exhale, lower the arms, shoulder height. Palms have now flipped to face the earth. Use the fingers to pull everything off the center line of your body. Now, drop your chin, raise the back of the head, and do that a couple more times. Holding that neck, pulling skyward. Now, open the palms to face skyward. Inhale, sweep to salute the sun. Exhale, fold all the way down. Plant those hands and step those feet back to plank. Let's bring some flexion into the spine and extension into the spine. Now, there's the option to be on knees if you need them. So we're just doing spinal flexion and extension. And one more repetition. And as you bring the spine back to extension, let the torso drop in between the arms, spiral those elbows to the center line, draw your hips up and back to down dog. Sweep back to plank, and sweep back to down dog, and back to plank. Hold on plank as you drop the knees to the earth, separate them to the edges of the mat, and make sure your baby fingers are out towards the edges also, so we have a very wide stance. As you rotate elbows internally, let the chest kind of drop in between the arms. And then slowly raise the torso up and down. So we're really moving that shoulder capsule, which means our shoulder blade itself is actually moving. So we have all of those muscles that interact with that shoulder blade on each side, of course. Getting a little bit of blood flow to it as we open up the joint. Now we're going to let the chest kind of drop in between the arms. We're going to spiral those elbows internally. We're going to take the back of the head, pull it to the sky. And we're going to take the tailbone and pull it to the sky also. Now, try to hollow out the belly. Try to draw it up and in and feel that nice pull through it. As we bring flexion to the spine, you're going to take your pubis and kind of tuck it forward, pull it up and into the belly button, and let the head descend earthward. As you fill the lungs, you're going to reverse this. And as you inhale, we're going to round it. And do this for a couple more repetitions. All right, let's hold down to neutral spine. With toes tucked, we're going to float the knees, and we're going to just move forward and back slowly, and then side to side, slowly. And then calm that. Pull the hips up and back to down dog. Let's walk the hands back and drive your heels to the earth. When you arrive, find balance of weight in their feet. Push the ball of each big toe to the mats as you straighten through the legs. Also straighten the spine as you inhale. As you exhale, bend both knees, sweep the arms to the sky. As you salute the sun, and allow me to say good morning again. Inhale, full high to the sky. As you exhale, drop hands over heart. Let's step sideways to the mats and bring nice width to the legs. As wide apart as you can get them without doing the splits. I know that's Kirsten's favorite thing, right? No? Maybe hands. Okay. Now, with the legs relatively straight, I'd like you to take the toes and turn them in towards the center line. So we have a little bit of inward rotation through them. I'm going to take that right hip. I'm going to bring hands from over heart onto hips now. I'm going to begin to take my left leg, keep it straight as I pull the right hip out and slightly backwards. So it's not coming directly out to the side. There's just a slight backward angling.
and then come back with hips neutral and pull from the opposite side. And hopefully the experience you're feeling is a little bit of the inner thigh muscles and maybe a little bit of the exterior or outside muscles, getting a little bit of activation or lengthening depending on which direction you're going. And alternating for another couple repetitions. All right, and come back onto it straight. Going to keep the hands on the hips. Going to keep the legs straight. I'm going to begin the upper body descent to tabletop position. Now, while we're down here, I'd like to take the heels and push the outsides of them away from the center line. Try not to let the feet rock up onto the outside. Keep the ball of each big toe connected to the mat. Spine is nice and long. On the next breath, relax the hands to the earth, but keep the spine nice and long. Now, there's this drift phenomena that we often go into, which is kind of muscle memory, if you will. And what I simply mean by that is if you felt the front of your foot get more weighted in the back, I'd like you to reverse that. Give me as much weight bearing to the heel of each foot and keep the exterior rotation of those heels. As you walk forward with the fingers now, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to walk the hands over to the right foot. We get a little bit of a descent of the upper body towards that right leg. Going to hold for a couple breaths. As you inhale, extend the spine, walk the hands, walk it over to the opposite side, and then fold in on that leg. Holding for a couple breaths there also. Now, some of us may experience some of that outside of the lower leg, feeling a little bit of a stretch in the muscles there, the peroneals. And that's kind of a muscle that gets abused when we sit for long periods of time. You should feel like a little nice relief. Let's walk it back center with hands under chest. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Drift back those hips if they wandered forward. Take the right hand, sweep it out to the side, and we begin some windmills. Lowering, switching to the opposite side. Try to make the effort a rotational effort, so we're not pushing from side to side with the hips. It's just a spinal column rotation. Everything's relatively static, aside from the shoulder that's articulating upward to the sky. And we're making sure we're not drifting forward. Keep the ball of each big toe pushing to the mat, very important. Side to side, slowly. We're going to continue to repetitions on this. If you begin to feel some of your oblique or side body muscles getting a lot of work, this is good stuff for it. Make the effort to reach that arm long. As you sweep skyward, you're raising shoulder. All right, another couple more reps. Someone's almost done here, I can tell. All right, step it together and remain folded. Feet are about hip width apart. As you inhale, keep that spine in extension. Draw those hips backwards. Walk the hands forward. As you exhale, let that upper body fold down. Pilates style, roll it up, stack it all the way up. Oh, there we are. Back to reality. Now, palms are going to face inward, shoulders draw upward, palms open forward. Big inhale, sweep to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Exhale, drift back. Keep the back in extension. Take that right hand, reach it sideways. Take the left hand, reach it out also. You're kind of like an airplane of sorts. Use the fingers to pull long. Now, give me a nice proud chest, grow that spinal column, and as you slowly unfold, keep the arms in place, rotate the palms to face the sky. Big breath in, salute the sun. Exhale. Lower arms back to the starting spot. Now, flip the palms and begin to fold spine long. See if you can increase the range of motion down while you keep the spinal column long, and then slowly rise back up and salute and lower. Going to do a couple more repetitions of this. Once again, making sure we're not wading into the front part of the foot. Try to keep it predominantly through the back or heel. As you rise back up this time and salute, let those hands descend back over hard. I'm going to come front face to the mat again. Good morning, everybody. Nice. Now, let's take that right foot, post it forward. Left foot pushes back. As we hold on this now, I'm going to ask you to take the heel of that back foot and make sure it's aiming skyward. We're going to take the back heel. I'm going to push towards the earth, that heel. And then you're going to slowly push up onto the toes. And you're going to rock it up and down slowly. Try to keep the heel tracking in the same line so you're not internally and externally rotating. This is straight down and straight up. Now hold it up and begin to chop through that right hip and fold down. And then rise back up. So now we're going to explore the range of motion in that right hip on each descent. I'd like you to try to maintain a nice, stable, neutral spine so we're not flexing through it. We're maintaining its extension as we lower and raise down on that right leg. Enjoy it. Are you having fun? Is it starting to burn a little? Nice. All right, raise it back up, switch up sides, making sure we have a nice separation of width in the feet itself. Heel, the most important part here, skyward. Drive it towards the earth and come back up under the toes. There's a slight forward lean. You can intensify by adding more lean. You know your body, you guide on that. Same with all of our exercises, of course. Slowly is the important movement. Tracking of the heel straight up and down. All right, and the next up, hold up, and let's begin to fold onto that left leg. Again, first repetition, second and third, and so on and so forth. Explore the range down. And just make it a slow journey, right? Not in a hurry today. It's Sunday fun day. All right, we're gonna do one more repetition. One more rep. As we stand it up, step the back foot forward, shake out if you need to. If you can, keep hands over heart and step out the feet to the edges of the mat, toes aiming straight forward. And we're gonna come down squat wise. Simple squat, lowering and raising. Now, winking is a process where our pelvic girdle either tucks in or shoots back in this motion of squatting. I like to try to keep the pelvic girdle stable. So try not to pull in or extend back. Use the muscles, try to integrate it with the movement. So the hips are just moving nominally. The big movement is the hip sockets, which is that upper leg bone, femur, moving through that socket, up and down, slowly up. Now we're going to add a little bit of dimension here. Take the right heels and try to rotate them away from the center line as you lower and raise. Keep that external rotation. You might feel a little bit difference through those hips. Might increase some of the range of motion, may decrease it. You know, a lot of different things going on. One of the things I'd like you to also be mindful of tracking are the knees. We're not opening or closing. One more repetition down, hold it down, extend the arms out, raise those arms high, stand tall, big inhale, reach for the sun. Exhale, fold it down, take it to the mat. Oh, grab some water.
Cheers.
Say hi to your neighbor. Hi, neighbor. All right. Time to take it to the mat. And I meant it. Come all the way down onto the mat. Oh, good night. That feels so good, doesn't it? All right. Now we're gonna rock the pelvic girdle. So I'd like you to kind of try to roll up onto your tailbone, which means your low back kind of pulls away from the mat. And then I'd like you to kind of rock that pelvic girdle backwards, where you can kind of feel the low back skin touch the mat. And then rock forward and back a few times as we articulate some of those lower spinal column joints. It's really kind of warming some of the muscles of the pelvic girdle also, or that are fixed to it. All right, now, let's keep up on the tailbone. Let's take our shoulder blades and flatten them out and bring our arms beside the body with your cupped fingers, allowing the fingertips only to touch the mat. I'd like you to keep the rest of your arm up off the mat. So it's fingertips only, shoulder blades pulling back, flattening out. Let's take your right hand, let's take your head and roll it to the right. Come back up center and roll it to the left. Now, if you notice your shoulders are following your head movements, I'd like you to calm the shoulders. Just roll from side to side and then come back, head aiming straight up at the sky. And I'm going to ask you now to take both hands onto your shoulders, the respective shoulders, and just put the thumbs on top of the shoulders themselves. Now, I'd like you to draw the shoulders backwards and see if you can get your upper arm, the back thereof, onto the mat. And as you hold that, I'd like you to kind of initiate a little bit of a push into the earth. Now, as you push the back of the arm into the ground, do your shoulders pop forward? And if they do, I'd like you to draw back the shoulders and keep that little bit of pressure of the back of the arm into the mat. Your thumbs are literally on your shoulder joint. Now, we're going to hold on that, and we're going to come down to the lower body, and that hip rocking sensational stuff we were doing earlier. I like you to kind of rock it where the the skin of the low back is touching your mat. So we've kind of rolled it up, and we're more spine neutral at this point. And while you hold this now, I want you to pull your tummy into your belly button. Sorry, your tummy into your spine. All right, so while we do this now, we're going to drop your chin into the chest and begin to crunch up slowly and then lower back down. And let the head rest. And then reposition everything back to where we want it to be. So back of arms pushing to the mat, shoulder blades flat, chin drops to chest, and crunch up we come. And you may feel that this is a little more intensification of a regular crunch, and for the most part, it's for a couple of reasons. It's because we're really trying to focus on those muscles that do the crunching. So continue to your repetitions on this, slowly up, slowly down, repositioning shoulders every time you alight back onto your mat. And let's do a couple more repetitions.
next repetition, you're gonna hold it up, extend the arms forward, put a 45-degree angle, draw the shoulders backwards, drop the chin into the chest, extend the legs all the way forward, and Pilates style, bring it all the way up. Oh, keep the spine flexed as you allow the arms to kind of descend towards the feet, beyond them if you can get there. Let's hang out for a couple breaths. Let the upper body completely relax. A nice lengthening for that spinal column as we go into a lot of spinal flexion. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, fold back down. Keep the chin tucked as you begin to Pilates style. Take it back to the earth. Keep the belly hollowing out into the tummy. Now, bring the elbows out beside the shoulder and bring your thumbs back onto those shoulder joints. I'm going to reset this whole thing all over again. You're going to take the heels, push them forward. Going to bring flexion to the feet. So we have those anterior tibialis, those shin muscles nicely active. Now, crunch up, extend out the arms, and Pilates style. Bring it all the way up. Keep the spine in flexion as you let those arms descend between the feet. Hold for a breath or two. And then keep the chin tucking into the chest as you slowly Pilates style it back to your earth and reset it back up. Drop the chin. Begin to crunch, extend the arms forward, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, bring it all the way up. Keep the spine flexed, reach it forward. Enjoy that nice lengthening. See if you can get a little more forward as you inhale, extend. As you exhale, flex the spine. Keep that chin tucked as you bring it back to the earth. We're going to do one more lovely repetition as we reset this. Drop the chin, begin the crunch, extend the arms, and now bring it up one vertebrae at a time. And keep it flexed as you extend it out. This time as you inhale and extend, let's bring the base of your hands onto your toes. So you're going to get this nice plantar stretch. Pull the toes in towards the top of the feet. As you keep the spine in extension, try to get a little longer through it and take your right ear and drop it towards the right shoulder. Bring the head back straight and then do the opposite side slowly. Kind of like a windshield wiper from side to side. I'm closing my eyes so I like to enjoy the journey and get the feeling. Tweak around a little bit. Roll my head from side to side. And then hold it neutral. Going to give me a little bit of extra pull through those feet. Little bit of extra spinal extension. Big breath in, and as I exhale, I'm going to come into staff pose and grab some water. What did you do at your staff meeting? I had some water. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. All right. Let's take that right leg, put a nice bend in it. It's a little greater than 90 degrees. And we're going to bring that right foot towards that left knee and take that left foot. I'm going to reach forward with my left hand. I'm going to do the same thing we're doing, but this is just a one-leg version of it. As I pull the toes in towards the shin, I'm going to use my elbow to kind of bend. Now, I have my hand and fingers kind of on the bottom part of my foot. I like you to just rub up and down, give yourself a little bit of self-love here on that tendon. You can kind of feel a little bit of tendon there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's just massage it out. That's your plantar tendon, or one of those things is it. There's another one there too. The huncus.
Okay.
All right, enough technical mumbo jumbo. Now, we've rubbed it out. I'd like you to keep the pull on this. I'd like you to take your right hand, reach it out beside the body, shoulder height. And then as you inhale, I could keep the shoulders square, but just raise that arm. And then I could open the palm, face away from the body, and then sweep that arm across as you row 2 ways, pulling to the sky, and then flexing through the spinal column. And then let's return this back down to the earth. And you might have noticed your oblique kind of took a little bit of a, oh, and that was a good exercise for you. To be focused on that muscle. As we set up the opposite side, same thing. And reaches forward and begins to pull. And we pulled in, I know, and I said that last time, but that's kind of what the whole point of it is to give that nice isolated stretch. Pull in a little better or more with that right hand. As you inhale, extend that left arm all the way out and bring it towards the sky. And then take it higher if you can. Try to reach the arm away. Try not just to reach and bend for the elbow. Try to pull with that arm. And then let's float it back down and bring both feet together, the bottoms thereof. And we're going to wrap our ankles with our hands. Now we're going to rock pelvically. So we practiced this earlier. We're going to pull forward and back. We're kind of rolling onto the tailbone and onto the sit bones, forward and back. And then you're going to roll forward and up onto your sit bones. You're going to hold that. And you're going to use those shoulders and pull back with them to get a nice activation across the back. When we got that going on, I'd like you to take your knees and try to open them towards the earth. Proud out the chest. Hold on this like a tension through the whole body. On the next breath, relax the hands, walk them forward, let the spine begin to flex as you pull down. Enjoy that nice opening through the hips. As you inhale, extend to a flat back, step those hands back in, bring those legs together, pull the knees up and into the chests. And then on your tailbone, low back, middle back, slowly lower down. Raise the feet to the sky. Separate them hip width apart. We're going to reach up and kind of grab or pull the legs close enough to us where we can get our palms on top of the feet again. Now, I'd like you to take the legs, make them nice and straight, and then bend the knees and pull the feet and everything into the body. I'm going to let my heels descend towards my butt, and then I'm going to extend the legs back up. Keep the legs straight. Pull in a little more if you can. Let the knees bend. Now I'm going to have my arms kind of positioned inside the legs with a nice rotation of the low back skin towards the earth. Is that pelvic rocking stuff we practiced earlier. Now as we hold that in place, extend the legs back up. Try to keep those legs straight. Straighten them a little more if you can. And then as you bend the knees, bring the bottoms of the feet together as you rock forward and back up to a seated position. Oh, just like that, but not like that. All right. Now that we're back here, I'm going to take our legs, I'm going to open them towards the earth, route out the chest. I'm going to bend, pull the shoulders back as I make the chest nice and proud, like you give the spinal column nice and long. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, release the hands, walk the fingers forward, and enjoy that opening. As you inhale, extend. And come back to a seated position. We're going to scoot it over. And we can add some 90-90s in here. And take that right leg, extend it back. And we're going to just simply walk it out today. So, like, you know, rock from one side. Do the other. Nice and slowly. seems like kind of a very benign type of exercise, but you might feel a lot of the small muscles in and around the hips screaming for attention as we walk from side to side. So in essence, this makes it a very beneficial exercise.
You try this out.
Yeah. Often what happens is a lot of the larger muscles
Okay, cool.
become dominant in the movement patterns, or that should be dominant movement patterns often aren't because they get neutralized by sedentary behavior. So what happens is a lot of these small muscles have to do double time or be more extended in their effort. And this kind of helps to give them a little bit of a break. The big muscles we work on when we do our gross motor exercises, which are earlier in the class, of course. All right, let's bring it all together, sweep it forward. Coming back into the staff pose. Gonna keep the feet separated but hip width apart. I'm just gonna grab another cheers here. A lot of water today. All right. So in staff pose now, we're just gonna let the fingers do the walking. Good old yellow page, throw back there. And let the upper body just flex down. As you inhale, extend to a flat back and walk those hands back in, come back into staff pose. Make sure those legs are nice and extended. Let's flex the feet and bring hands up over heart. It's not over yet, don't worry. All right, we're going to take the hands and salute the sun. Pull long and high to the sky. Proud through the chest. As you exhale, let the spine flex and sweep the hands towards the earth. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Fingertips are still down. Walk them forward. Flex the spinal column as you exhale. As you inhale, extend. Walk them back in. Come back into staff. Bring hands over heart. Take the shoulders and pull them backwards. Make that chest nice and proud as you push the hands to salute the sun. Inhale, extend the spinal column. Pilates style, take it down. Reach it all the way back. Point the toes. Pull opposites, the fingers and the toes. Feel long through that body of yours.
Stretch time.
It's stretch time. Let's roll slowly to the right and center and slowly to the left, your head. Bring it back neutral. Take the arms down beside the body. And give me a nice proud chest. Palms are flat to the earth. Let's take that right foot and step it in towards your butt. And take the left foot and anchor it onto that right thigh. Let's take the left knee and rotate it internally and externally. As you articulate that hip socket of the left side, try not to let the whole body influence its movement pattern. Everything else is remaining calm, kind of in the same spot, just the left leg opening and closing with the muscles that allow it to do so. Let's now plant that left foot and switch it for the right. Same exercise, opposite side. It may feel a little more problematic on one side, and that's not unusual. It's very normal to be dominant. All right, let's bring both feet down to the earth. Let's bring the forehead and knees together so we can rock and roll front to back, come up to a seated position. Let's take that left leg and 90-degree it as we extend the right leg out. Walk back forward, fold it back down. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Switch it up as we go to the opposite side. Let your fingers do the walking.
As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Let's walk it back and cross the legs, whatever style that you prefer to do. Bring our hands on top of the kneecaps. Let's bring the spinal column to flexion, let the chin drop down. And now, like we're kind of creating an opening, kind of like a flower would open in the sunlight in the morning. Let's pull the head to the sky, sprout out the chest, pull those shoulders back, keep those hands upon the kneecaps. Imagine a string from the base of the spine all the way up along the spinal column, out through the top of the head, pulling nice and long. Keep that lengthening, keep your chest proud as you bring hands over heart, so I can say thank you for joining us today.
Namaste.
Namaste. Nice.
Good job, sweetie. Okay, and just like that, it's all over.
It's never